Air India Flight AI171 crash, Ahmedabad, India, June 12, 2025. On June 12, 2025, Air India Flight AI171 tragically crashed just moments after departing from Ahmedabad, India, en route to London. The Boeing 787 Dreamliner lost contact within 30 seconds of takeoff, issuing a mayday call before losing altitude and striking a residential area. Authorities are now meticulously analyzing flight data recorders, crew communications, and maintenance records. Boeing is fully cooperating with the investigation as the world mourns this devastating loss and seeks answers. Air India Flight AI171, operated on a Boeing 7878 Dreamliner, was bound for London Gatwick after taking off from Ahmedabad's Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport. On June 12, 2025, shortly after departure, it crashed into a residential medical hostel area in Meghani Nagar, Ahmedabad. The aircraft carried 242 people, 230 passengers, and 12 crew. Tragically, over 240 people on board were killed, and several on the ground also died. Only one survivor was confirmed: British national Vishwashkumar Ramesh, who was seated in 11A and survived despite escaping amid the wreckage. Videos and witness reports stated the plane made a mayday call, flew around 625 feet before rapidly losing altitude, and crashed into a college hostel doctor's dormitory. Multiple fatalities occurred on the ground, including students. Some reports mention 5 to 29 ground fatalities. This marks the first fatal crash of a Boeing 787 Dreamliner and is India's deadliest aviation accident in a decade. Rescue teams recovered bodies and treated survivors at local hospitals. Indian and UK leaders, including Prime Ministers and King Charles III, have expressed deep shock and condolences. Emergency operations continue and authorities are investigating the cause. Aircraft Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner, AI171. Location, northeast of Ahmedabad Airport. Crashed into a residential college hostel. Departure, 1:38 p.m. local time, June 12, 2025. Occupants, 230 passengers, 12 crew. Fatalities, over 240 on board, several on the ground. Survivors, one confirmed, seat 11A. Status, investigation underway. Airport operations disrupted. Ongoing investigation. Initial findings confirm the plane issued a mayday call, lost altitude rapidly after takeoff, and impacted a residential area. Authorities are examining flight data recorders, crew communications, and aircraft maintenance records. Boeing is cooperating with investigators. The latest and most reliable reports confirm there is exactly one survivor from the crash of Air India Flight AI171 on June 12, 2025, in Ahmedabad. Survivor details. Name and nationality: Kumar Ramesh, a 40-year-old British national of Indian origin. Seat: he was seated in 11A, part of the emergency exit row. Injuries and rescue: he sustained injuries to his chest, eyes, and feet, but regained consciousness amid wreckage, was seen walking while clutching his boarding pass, then transported to Civil Hospital in Asarwa, Ahmedabad. IndiaTimes.com. First confirmations. Police sources confirmed at least one survivor, later identifying him as Ramesh. The man who survived the Air India plane crash was able to describe the tragedy from his hospital bed. According to the Hindustan Times, Ramesh sustained impact injuries to his chest, eyes, and feet. He was visiting family in India with his brother Ajay Kumar Ramesh, 45, and was returning to the UK when the crash occurred. 30 seconds after takeoff, there was a loud noise, and then the plane crashed, he told the Times from his hospital bed. It all happened so quickly. When I got up, there were bodies all around me. I was scared. I stood up and ran, Ramesh said. There were pieces of the plane all around me. Someone grabbed hold of me and put me in an ambulance and brought me to the hospital. Ramesh was able to speak with some of his family members and told them he is fine, according to the BBC, which spoke with a relative in the UK. His brother Ajay is now presumed dead, given the airline's statement that there were no other survivors. Another brother, Nayan, said the family was just shocked as soon as we heard it. I last spoke to him, Ramesh, yesterday morning. We're devastated, just devastated, The Guardian reported. Ramesh said, I have no idea how I exited the plane, Nayan said. The video shows the plane descending quickly to the ground right after it took off. It was then seemingly consumed by a large fireball. The cause of the crash is under investigation. The plane, a Boeing 7878 Dreamliner, was traveling from Ahmedabad to London Gatwick when it was involved in an accident after takeoff. Air India CEO Campbell Wilson said in a previous statement shared on X. Of the passengers, 169 are Indian nationals, 53 are British nationals. He expressed deep sorrow about this event on behalf of the airline. We are actively working with the authorities on all of the emergency response efforts, he said in his statement on X. A special team of caregivers from Air India is on the way to Ahmedabad to provide additional support. Barely airborne, then plummets CCTV from buildings near Ahmedabad airport captures the Boeing 787 climbing to approximately 625 feet before suddenly losing altitude and crashing into a medical college hostel, exploding almost immediately. Barely airborne, then plummets CCTV from buildings near Ahmedabad airport captures the Boeing 787 climbing to approximately 625 feet before suddenly losing altitude and crashing into a medical college hostel, exploding almost immediately. Mayday call, rapid descent. A distress call, Mayday, was made shortly before the crash. Analysis shows the Dreamliner lost power in both engines or lacked sufficient thrust to continue climbing. Expert analysis. Why it matters. Flap gear misconfiguration. Aviation experts, like former NTSB chair Robert Sumwalt and Sky News analysts, highlight improper flap deployment and prolonged gear extension as indicators of critical takeoff configuration errors. Possible double engine failure. Sudden loss of thrust could have resulted from bird strikes, fuel issues, or mechanical failure. At low altitude, pilots had minimal time for recovery maneuvers. Sequence of events. The full crash from takeoff to impact lasted about 30 seconds. The plane vanished from radar and camera views just before exploding into a building. This crash reminds the world that even the most advanced aircraft can fall victim to small configuration errors, human factors, or mechanical failures, with tragic consequences. The survivor's story is a beacon of resilience, but the full truth must now be uncovered to ensure this never happens again.